Hello, everybody, and welcome to Unconventional GMs, the channel where we play fast-paced, one-shot TTRPGs with pace, vim, and vigor. We are playing Outgunned today. High-action movie game that was released a few years ago from an Italian company. They are amazing. It's a really fun game, but we're not going to do it in the Outgunned setting. We're going to go back in time to a long time ago in a galaxy far, far away and play in the Star Wars universe as our rebels are going to attempt to find a certain man of interest to the rebellion. And we're also going back in time in that we are playing through an adapted version of an old Western game Star Wars adventure, Tatooine Manhunt. This is a game that I was going to say this adventure is older than some of the players in this game, but no offense, gents, I'm not sure if that's actually true, but it's there or thereabouts, isn't it? It's like an early 1980s game adventure. But don't worry, I have torn it up and rearranged it to make it slightly more suitable to our modern sensibilities. I'm Guy, co-host of this channel, and I also blog at burnafterrunning.rpg.com that has got some prep notes for this game on, so check them out. Not now, but after you've watched it, and you can follow along at home and see what it is. I'm going to introduce our players and who they are playing as well. Starting with my co-host, Gaz.
Hi, I'm Gaz. When I'm not doing this, I also co-host What Would the Smart Party Do, the UK's premier RPG podcast. Today, I'm going to be playing T3PO, who is a highly modified protocol droid, formerly of the Imperials and now working independently. If you imagine the band Daft Punk, that's kind of him. He looks probably like C3PO, but he's got like a black same-act suit that he wears over the top, considered himself part of high society, and he may have found himself this time in the dregs of society, but that's fine because he can adapt anywhere. He's a chameleon. He knows at least 6 billion languages and dialects, and I'm sure he'll fit right in.
Amazing. Great to meet T3PO. Jag, who are you playing?
I'm Jag. I play TTRPGs and stuff like that. And today I am playing the Hardrat Vor, a Bothan spy, the weathered infiltrator who knows too much and still chooses hope. I've slipped through more Imperial nets than I care to count, and each one costs us dearly, as you see me stroking the braids on my well-kept mane, each braid representing one of my fallen brethren. I don't miss, I don't panic, and I don't leave people behind. Not anymore. You need someone to get in quiet, to get out cleaner, and to keep the rebellion alive one secret at a time. You're looking at him.
Amazing. I'm sure the dice roller was listening when you said you never miss. So we'll see how that goes. Because of it.
I've already guessed it, right?
Craig, who are you playing today?
Hey, this is Craig from Third Floor Wars. I am playing Lunal, the young Jedi on the run. I am a mere 12 years old, and though one of my flaws is full of self-doubt, I am a 12-year-old boy, which means I know everything, and I'll make sure you know about it too. I carry with that the chutzpah of a true young Jedi, and can't wait to interact with all of you all.
Amazing. And last but not least, Chris, who are you playing?
Hi, I'm Chris, aka Dirk the Dice from the Grognard Files podcast, and I'm playing Django Lem, the hotshot pilot. You know what we don't need this afternoon is a plan. What we need is speed, and I'm bringing it. I've got this, hotshot suit on and medals of dubious origin that I wear around me. And believe it or not, Star Wars has got Oliver Reed for the franchise for this character.
This is a like 1970s Oliver Reed, presumably.
I was going to say a young one and not a 63-year-old pickled one.
Let's see how the afternoon goes.
It depends how the dice fall, doesn't it? Yeah. Amazing. So I'm going to start by doing a quick session of CATS. CATS stands for Concept, Aim, Tone, Subject Matter. It's a really useful tool to make sure everyone's on the same page. And it's useful doing even when, based on those introductions, you might be thinking, I think we probably pretty much know how lighthearted this is going to be. So concept, Outgunned, Star Raiders, which is the action flick we're playing, is a setting for the game Outgunned, cinematic action RPG. There are a number of Star Wars inspired packs. There's another one that's got Jedi Knights, which Lunel would certainly be interested in, maybe when he grows up a bit. And we're also going to be playing through Tatooine Manhunt, which is it's 1988 actually, so it's not as old as I was saying, published adventure. And it's one of the classic sort of Star Wars adventures that people, when they talk about D6 Star Wars used to play, they always remember this fondly. Having looked at it with our fresh 2026 eyes, it's a bit of a module design of its time. So I've sort of stripped it down and reassembled the important bits into something that sort of works and that we'll be able to get through in 2 hours instead of taking like 8 sessions, which I think is what it was designed for. The aim here is you are rebels working for the rebellion. This is set, as you would expect from the Star Wars RPG, at the time of the 3 original series films. You will need to race against time and hordes of bounty hunters to find an old war hero. This is a pretty sort of high action, rails on-ish adventure. It's one of those where how it progresses is fairly set, but how each of those scenes that you're in is resolved by you is pretty open-ended and will be driven by the approaches that you take. This adventure is all set on Tatooine, but don't worry if you're playing the pilot, Chris, because there's plenty of land speeder action as well. And we'll tell a sort of type one shot that'll just lean into the tropes of Star Wars and make sure we know what's happening. The tone of this is going to be lighthearted and heroic. You're the rebellion, you're heroes. We know that stormtroopers are baddies, and we don't worry too much about them being knocked down by blaster fire. Outgunned is cinematic action. You are pretty resilient characters. It's going to be unlikely that you're going to put yourself in serious danger. And as we know, the first volley of blaster fire from those stormtroopers always misses. So we don't need to worry about any of this. And then subject matter and safety. This is Star Wars as through a sort of 1980s Saturday morning cartoon, I think. So this is certainly certificate PG. We won't have any sort of bad language or any gore in it. And as with the old Star Wars films, we don't, when stormtroopers get shot, they sort of fall down. They're probably fine. We've not got any sort of blood and guts going on here. It's generally pretty much what you would, it's got to be suitable for Craig's character to watch later on. So it's going to be pretty straight like. So we'll all modify our descriptions to make sure that works. In terms of lines and veils, we have a number that are on. It's always worth going through them, even though I think with the tone we're unlikely to encounter them. There's going to be a line on sort of violence to young children, and any sort of sexual content is going to be behind a veil here. And also, although we're playing a module that could be a bit dated here, we're certainly not going to have any racism or transphobia featuring in our universe at all. We don't need to engage with the worst aspects of that on here. We've got an X card in play, so if anything comes up, any subject matter that you're not comfortable with, just type an X into the chat or say X card, and we'll rewind and recover that bit of the play. The only thing that you would have to share if you triggered an X card, the only thing you'd have to share is how far back we might need to go, just to be clear, but you don't need to go into any detail about what it is that you don't want to engage with. That's absolutely fine. And it's also open table. So if any of you don't need to step away, I don't want to be here, by all means do that. We'll probably, for the viewers at home, cut that out, obviously, but it's always good to play with open table. If you need to step away, do it. We'll be having a break sort of on the hour anyway. But do remind me about that if it's coming up too soon. It's easy when you're running a game to forget about breaks and forget about the need to do that. But certainly a break each hour is a really good practice to do on online gaming. With that done, I can explain your mission. You have already, as we see a little epilogue flashback, rendezvoused with Ensign Parlin, a rebel plant in the Imperial Star Destroyer Relentless. You met up with her on Quen space station. She was sure, she told you she had vital information that she needed to share But sadly, as she as you were meant to meet her, you saw her drop dead and killed by a dart in the neck. You were able to recover her data slate, which contained concerning news. The rebel hero, Adar Talon, a figurehead of the last rebellion and believed to be dead, although his body is never found, has been located. He is currently in hiding in Tatooine. Tatooine is, to you all, a backwater planet that nobody's ever heard of. To people who are at home watching, who've seen the films, like 50% of the films are on Tatooine. So somehow it features quite prominently in the story here. But desert planet, 2 moons, there's not a lot in it. Mos Eisley, its starport, is a hive of scum and villainy. But apart from that, it's all out in the wastes. So the Imperials have found that he's in hiding there. They're going to get him. And you will have noticed, as you've been checking the communications around here, that everything is alive. Every bounty hunter within 2 clicks of Tatooine is heading there to get this massive bounty. You've heard there's a Mandalorian about who's sure he's going to get it, but you're expecting there's going to be lots and lots of interest in here. And your mission is to get to him first before the Imperials or any of these hundreds of bounty hunters that are trying to get him for the Imperials do. Secure him and get him to safety on a rebel base. We're going to set the scene now because we're going to begin in Mos Eisley Cantina. So the music from the films is playing that we won't play for copyright reasons. You can see a wide assortment of aliens. There's the little alien band playing that tune, and the cantina is rammed. The cantina is normally pretty busy anyway because it's sort of the only place to go get a drink and relax on Mos Eisley. But the recent influx of the worst kind of bounty hunters has filled it up. And the droid who's serving behind the counter is running this way and that, trying to get various drinks orders for people and looking like buzzing in that sort of frazzled way that droids do as occasional sparks sort of fly off him. You've started here as your first way to try and find where Talon might be. Let's just set the scene. Do you want to just describe what we see of each of your characters and where you are in this canteen? Are you sat together? Are you sat separately? What are you doing? We'll do it maybe in order of seniority. So maybe we start with Hardrat. So you're the expert operator here, you claimed?
Yeah, I am. Absolutely. And I think we've probably taken us a step away from the rest of the group just to give us different angles on who's there. He heads up to a booth not far from where the musicians are stood, and he's keeping a close eye on the door, the bar, and that back door that's just the other side of where the stage is. He's leaning his arm over the back of his couch, and he's got one eye checking through the grime-covered window for people parking their rides outside. And he's just keeping a close eye on who's coming, who's going. Are there any of these bounty hunters maybe that he's familiar with? But more importantly, who's most likely to have the kind of information that we need? He knows the typical kind of scum that he would liaise with, and there's probably some familiar faces there.
Amazing. So to find some information out, and you're all going to get a chance to do this as you explore the cantina, that's what I'm going to ask you for a skill roll, Jag. It's in this game, it's sort of player facing, so you can choose what sort of combination of attributes and skills you want. This might be awareness, I'm going to suggest, but it's up to you what you want to do if you want to modify yours.
Absolutely. He's leaning into his kind of sit back and take it all in. Crime and awareness. He's well appointed in both of those. So I think that's 3 and 3. So a dice pool of 6 dice.
And this is just a basic difficulty test. So you just need to get a matching pair somewhere.
This should be doable. So I've got 2 2s and I've got 3 3s, so that would be a critical.
It's a critical
and a basic.
It's a critical and a basic in here.
Basic.
So based on your observation, there's a lot of bounty hunters just sort of hanging around, and there seems a bit of a general reluctance because lots of these are sort of small fry. They all seem to be, there's a lot of them just half-heartedly observing what's going on, doing general. Lots of them don't seem to have any idea of where to look, if you see what I mean. You do notice, though, that there is a tall, skinny man in one corner who appears to be recruiting some of these low-rent sort of bounty hunters to go out and find talent. And he's saying, yeah, trip into the waist. He's signing people up, signing them up that they will get a small proportion of the reward. And you do hear him say as well that to some of them that are a little bit unsure about it, it's like, oh, right now, there's someone's asking him, are you going to be the leader of this expedition? And Puggles, oh, no, it's not me. There's a Mandalorian in town. He'll be in charge. He's the one that's leading it. Cast is his name. So that is what you find. There's no sign of this Mandalorian around, but he is certain. That's the only sort of organization you can see around these bounty hunters. Let's maybe go to T3PO next. There's lots of stuff going on. It's Cantina. You can choose how you wish to interact to try and get some information on that. It's up to you.
I'm going to head straight to the bar, and I'm going to be helping out the Cantina droid. I'll almost shove him out the way and say, right then, gentlemen, what do we all want? I'll tell you what, this figuring down on the model nodes, it's no Slice Noodles and the Max Rebo band, is it? But all the same. And then I'll start playing the Cantina tune out of my sensors or whatever. Saying, okay, drinks are on me, and start just making loads of drinks and stuff like from the latest Coruscant fashions. And just basically getting loads of people drunk and getting to spread the gossip with me and stuff like that.
Amazing. There's some sort of slight objection from the barman, but he's happy with the help as he can go on the other end of the bar and start serving them there as well. What sort of combination of skills do you think you're going to roll for this, Gaz?
I think I'm using my smooth and style to kind of, just schmooze my way into it. Yeah.
Again, basic difficulty. This.
Okay. So, well, I've almost got a straight there, which is no use to anyone. So
it doesn't mean anything in this game, isn't it?
I'm going to re-roll, I think, is what I'm going to do there.
Oh, do you have a free re-roll?
Yeah.
Because if you don't, I'm afraid you can't re-roll. You need to have
no points to it.
You need to have a success, I'm afraid.
All right, okay.
So
in that case, I'm just making drinks.
I guess the question is, how does this? Yeah, how does this not work? How do you end up not finding out any useful information?
I've actually underestimated the demand at the bar. I thought it was just an old droid that couldn't keep up, but now behind the bar, I just haven't got a chance to actually speak to anyone. There's like 7 demands at all times for different drinks, and I found myself like, "Oh God, we're out of vodka." I'm like, what? Where's the green milk? And I've just forgotten what I'm here for.
And there's a real sort of like, it's always different people. Whenever you come back, you can't quite keep track of them. Your attempts to get these humans drunk, which is normally quite straightforward, is much more challenging than you expected. For me, or if they are getting drunk, they're getting drunk at the far side of the bar and you can't even hear them. Amazing. Django, what are you up to try and find some information out here?
I'm familiar with this place, and the last time I was in this hole of scum and villainy, I left scorch marks on the dock, and there's a bounty on my name, and I want to make sure that some of this competition in finding talent are slowed down a little. So I'm going to call TP over. Hey, TP, and get him to line up some drinks and prepare for a drinking competition with some of these bounty hunters. I'm going to take them on. Amazing.
Well, they are, in fact, that this is exactly the kind of distraction that they've been looking for. This is the kind of thing they were hoping was going to happen, but everyone seems to be on message here. So I wonder what kind of pair of skills you would like to use to succeed in this drinking competition.
I'm going to go for my crime and streetwise. So there's going to be some side bets of credits on this. So I'm going to kind of hustle a few Joalas to get some people round just to get the money in the air as TP lines up the drinks. Faster TP, accelerate.
I'll be leaking out some like lubricant into the drinks I'm pouring out for the bounty as well, just to spike the drinks a bit.
Is this meant to be okay, make the roll. Basic difficulty again.
Okay, so crime. So that's 2 dice, and I've got 3 streetwise dice. So here goes. Let's see what we do. Whoa, I've got a basic there, haven't I?
That is a basic success, which is enough for this to find out some information here. So I think this is enough for you to win the drinking contest to a draw, as these things often end. where but you've got into, and they're saying they said, oh, we need to get back to it, but there's just no leads on where this guy might be. One of the bounty hunters, so you notice he's dressed and seems a bit more comfortable in here. He's maybe based on Tatooine or has been here quite a bit before. Says, I tell you who you want to speak to find him. You need to speak to some of the oldsters, the ones that were here, the ones that were here first on that first colony ship when it crashed into Tatooine. The problem is there's only 3 of them left. Hef, Slag, or Arno. They're the 3 you should speak to. Old Hef, old Arno, don't know where they are, but Slag Flats, she's easy to find. Gang leader on the outskirts of town.
Slag Flat. That name seems familiar to me. Where will I have heard of her before?
She's an Ithorian. So you might have heard of it. Ithorians are the ones with the big, like, hammerhead shark type heads. From that, he says, yeah, you might have heard her on Tatooine. Everyone knows her. Still hard to get hold of, though. Still hard to get hold of. I tell you that. And that's sort of where you found out before they make their excuses and go off and think they better stop drinking. And last but not least, Lunal. Luckily, licensing laws are quite lax on Mos Eisley. So a 12-year-old boy, nobody looks askance at a 12-year-old boy. I'm sat around this bar of various ne'er-do-wells talking. What are you attempting to find information out with?
I'm in a light gray coverall, much like you see Jedis wear all the time, like my old rumored Ben Kenobi, God rest his soul. And we've got all the dust of Mos Eisley all over it, and I have even less hair than the player does, completely bald head, and I'm actually behind the contest. So as Django is running this contest, I picked up on the cue. I grabbed an old wooden bowl off a table, and I'm walking behind these bounty hunters with this bowl going, good luck on your contest. Donate to the orphans of Tatooine. It's good luck. Credits for the orphans, and just doing anything I can to be somewhat annoying and invisible at the same time. So people see me, get away, kid, but hopefully I can pick up some information. So if it's all right, Guy, I'm thinking focus detect here.
Yeah, that seems right. As you try and there's lots of sort of comments about, oh, is there an orphanage on Tatooine? I've not seen one. There's any kids around here. I don't know. Why would they stay here? Why do we stay here? In fact, they're also,
there's so many orphans. There must be an orphanage, right?
Exactly. Yeah. 3 pips and a lot of people die here. 3 pips in focus, 2 in detect. So I've got 5 die all together.
Amazing.
And I ended up with a basic. I got 1 pair.
That is, in fact, a basic. That is enough for you to find out. So I think that you notice while the discussion of the sort of oldsters is going on, you notice there's a quiet human just watching from the corner, hearing all of this going on and making a note. And you see him like speak into a little comlink from there. And you can even sort of go up to him and he's saying Slag, I think I found the people for you. set up a meeting, and you hear this sort of crackle behind it. You can overhear him doing this and interject if you want. Great.
Credits for the Orphans of Tatooine.
It says, yeah. Say it came from. Oh yeah. Say it came from Slag Flats. She's always wanting to look after the best of it.
Would Slag be willing to give more? Where might I find her?
He looks around. He says, "You're not." He says, "Look, you're with these guys, aren't you?" Probably at the point where Django, like, triumphantly downs a glass, slams it on the table, with says, "Yeah, I think I can set up a meeting. You guys don't seem like the others."
Oh, no. Very, very different. Very, very different. And the three I'm with are quite capable.
Meet me at midnight by the Space Hotel. I can take you to her.
Put my hood up. Slide over to probably over to Hadret and give you a tug, Hadret, and share that information. I think we have something set up with someone called Slag Flat who might be a lead for us.
Sounds good. If we
of course you already knew that, right?
Well, I'd heard rumors Slag Flats is up to something. Who is it that we heard that information off? Do we know? Did we get his name?
I'm wondering, Guy, if I turn to point him out and he's already gone.
Absolutely, yeah. There's no sign he was ever there.
Hadret, you're so disappointed in me. I'm not very good at this.
You made a good effort there. I think as you get older, you'll learn to cover your tracks a bit better. But that's fine. We know where to meet him. He's not going to be anywhere else. Midnight at the Space Hotel. Let's carry on watching this drinking competition, and get the guys and head on out. Did you hear anything on your travels about a Mandalorian?
So you've got a bit of time now to be a little bit more free and easy around Mos Eisley. You've got a setup to meet at midnight. I'm going to assume that you share sort of all the information that you've received together. But I guess the thing is there anything, I'll sort of leave it open to you, or is there a risk with an online game that people talk over each other? I'm sure you'll use your telepathy to not do that. So is there anything that anything more you're wanting to find out in the sort of intervening time before this? You've probably got a chance to do a little bit more investigation before this happens. But the whole of Mos Eisley is your home. The cantina's sort of calming down a little bit as the Puggles, the guy that was recruiting people to go off, has sort of vanished off and stopped his recruitment. Maybe he's got enough people. But there's various stuff going on in the streets of Mos Eisley. You can see there are street corner preachers being hassled by bounty hunters. There's an argument at spaceport speeders over like the last two land speeders. Who's going to get them? Obviously, there's been a bit of a run on them with everyone thinking that they've got to get on there. And there's various sort of shops where you can buy whatever legal or illegal things that you would like to do from there. So I guess as maybe you reconvene, maybe in an alleyway around the back of Mos Eisley, a chance to maybe plan before this meeting.
Did I hear correct that the Mandalorian, so the tall skinny man was recruiting for the Mandalorian to take a trip into the wastes? Yes. I'll share that. Maybe there's something that we need to find out a little bit more about. Cast. Who this cast person is and whether there's any bad blood between them and Slag Flats. Maybe there's some politics that it's useful to get abreast of before we go into a conversation with Slag Flats.
Have you heard? I feel like Django, would we not need transportation of some sort? Should we not secure a speeder or some bikes?
Good thinking, kid. We're going to have to get ahead of these guys arguing over here. Let's muscle in and get ourselves a speeder.
Okay, so it sounds like we've got a bit of we've got sort of two things going on. Sorry, Gaz, if you were going to interject.
I'm going to be doing something different while they're doing that. So we might have three things going on. But I'm going to be started giving a speech. I'm going to get up on one of the soapboxes and start talking about will no one rid us of this Talon fella who's come back again? Look, he's there, and I'll point you in the opposite direction of the wastes. Is he not in the ruined port of? And then start going on about how I've heard these rumors about where he's hiding out on the other side of Tatooine.
Okay, so that's. I mean, I should. With that, we're not hewing very closely to Star Wars sort of thing, but I think like most of Tatooine is the wastes, if you see what I mean.
Yeah,
but there is, there's the old colony ship that's crashed out there, so maybe he's there. There'll be people.
I pick a feature and hope it's not the one he's actually at.
Yeah, there's a load of Jawas thinking, there's still some stuff in there. Maybe we should go and look at it. Yeah. Okay, let's securing a land speeder first is the first sort of challenge, isn't it? Now, I think Django and Lunal, you seem to be doing that. So how do you want to go about that? There is this argument going on. They're sort of arguing down. There are two fairly battered land speeders, seem to be the only two that are left. And from what you can gather, observing it, the proprietor of the shop seems fairly unwilling to rent any of his speeders out. He's wanting people to buy them outright, as he's quite clear that he doesn't think they're going to come back in any sort of state. So how are you approaching this, and maybe one of you could help the other, we can see.
Yeah, come with me, kids. We might need some of your mumbo jumbo head tricks for this guy. And I'm a bit unsteady on my feet at this point, so I'll take a bit of support from the kid as well as we
literal support.
Yeah. And,
okay. Yeah. Go on.
He takes a look at this. He's like, "This thing looks like company surplus. What are you asking for it?"
He says, "Oh, 2,000 credits. I'd be cutting my own face off if I sold it for less." And then another guy says, "I'll give you 2,000 for it."
2,000 credits for this?
He says, "Well, where else are you going to go land speeder here except for me? Speeder space bus. How you're going to have to make a dice roll basically to get this in front of the other guys." So, what sort of approach are you taking? And you can choose what kind of skill that would be as well. And if Lunal, if you want to interject and help with your.
Yeah, the only thing I think for help, I'm going to implant the idea that do you realize who you're talking to? One of the greatest pilots on this side of Tatooine. If you're concerned about getting your equipment back and getting this speeder back, there is no safer person behind the wheel than the great Django Lem. Wouldn't 1,000 credits be enough?
Which will be great unless they have heard of Django. That's the risk is they have heard of you before.
I say Lango Gem.
Yeah. Okay. What, Django Lem, this drunkard? What? I thought he'd be younger.
So tell me more about this guy who's selling the what does he look like? What's his approach? Is he kind of an alien, or is he?
He's a sort of green-skinned humanoid. He's one of the many times where this is Western game Star Wars, so it's before lots of the aliens were named. So he's just got green skin with a sort of a sort of crest on his head. He's clad in quite sort of sensible overalls. He's clearly quite flustered. He's had a really busy day, and he doesn't want to. And I mean, you can sort of tell he's started his prices today quite reasonable, and they've got higher and higher as he's realised demand is much higher than he was expecting, and he's sort of caught between wanting the day to be over and maybe it'd be better once I've sold all of these, and actually I need to get enough money because I might need to buy a load of new speeders soon because lots of these have gone and they're not coming back.
So I think Django's approach is you're from Flunge, aren't you? From the outer reaches. I've been there. I've been to your home planet. Oh. I know it well. I'm going back there. If you want me to send a message to a relative or anything,
his eyes go misty.
I'm going to use smooth and style, in other words.
Amazing. You can get a bonus dice from Lunal as well, from his suggestion.
Now,
so
does
you
he
can
have
roll
the
plus
minus one for it being an alien guy?
he would have the -1 for dealing with an alien, but I think because Lunal, you're involved, you can use your alien diplomacy. Will work on it because you're good at talking to these.
I've got a skill of alien diplomat.
Oh, cool! So you've got it as well. Amazing.
Yeah.
So you get +1 dice on that. I think for this one, we'll say it's critical because these bounty hunters look a bit angry as well. So you're going to have to get a triple to get this.
What I'm looking for here is to ease it out as a loan, because when we finish with it, it'll have more value because it'll have been part of Django Lem's legacy.
That sounds
No question.
amazing. Yeah.
It's a collector's item.
Yeah.
It's a collector's item. It'd be great if it either succeeded, though, wouldn't it?
So you've got two basic successes there, the 5s and the 3s. That's not enough. But you can certainly re-roll. You can pitch one of those successes in to re-roll and see if you can get a match. So you'd roll the remaining 4. Oh no, wait a minute.
3.
You'd roll the remaining 3 dice and see if you can get a match with that and the 5s and the 3s that you've got.
Here it goes then. So I'm going to re-roll it.
Another 3.
Yeah.
Amazing. So that is a critical and a basic because you've still got the basic from there. He says Django Lem, the Django Lem, and I think
the very same. The very same.
I think Lunal, with your like Jedi perceptions, you can see beyond him. There's like an old battered like poster up of some pod race that's got like it's probably Django when you crashed or something like, but he has heard of you. Django Lem. Oh, of course. And this guy's going 3,000. I'll give you 3,000. Oh, a loan would be amazing. Just sign here and bring it back. And this thing will see you right. And he sort of claps on it, and it sort of lifts to one side a bit, and the wing mirror falls off. But he says, certainly, yeah. You can put the old Django Lem stripes on it, and that'd be amazing. Cool. And the other 2 bounty hunters sort of go off looking much aggrieved that you have you have done this. Okay, let's cut to Hardrat. We're going to investigate 2 things. You're going to investigate the Mandalorian and or the wastes. I'm going to sort of ask you how you're doing that and which one you're going to focus on, because you might need to go to different places to do that unless you've got a great idea of.
So I think I'm mostly focusing on the Mandalorian and whether there's a connection between the Mandalorian and some of the oldsters, particularly Slagflats, that we're going to. And I think when Puggles, is it Puggles?
Puggles Trude.
Yeah, maybe when he's left, I think I'm probably going to be kind of following them, shadowing them to see where they've gone to, who else they're talking to, and from them, just keeping a close eye on who they're talking with, and maybe kind of pick up some clues from then going back and interrogating, shall we say, some of the people that they make contact with in the past, and asking about them. There's probably Slagflats has got a gang, right? And there's probably signs of the gang's mark in places, and in particular, if there is any kind of people that they're seeing in areas that are marked by Slagflat's gang, so that there's is there something to kind of correlate there?
Okay, so you're asking to investigate quite a lot there. How we'll put it in the fiction, I think, is that you're shadowing Puggles.
Yep.
As he goes to report back to the Mandalorian, looking for if there's any link with Slagflats and anything you can find out about Slagflats sort of gang as well, just generally. And we'll see how this goes. This is going to be critical difficulty, so you'll need a triple to succeed. So,
I think this is a crime and stealth maneuver.
As you go through the alleyways of Mos Eisley, trying to evade detection.
Yeah. Let's see what this brings up. I've got you
got 1 basic there.
Yeah, I've got
re-roll those 4 dice and see if you can get better. Risk it.
I've got a free re-roll with shadow when sneaking, tailing, etc. So,
you can get free roll then. Yeah, just re-roll the 4 that you've not got a match on then.
And that gives me an extreme.
Oh, very
and
nice.
A basic.
Extreme and a basic success. Okay, so I think we see you shadow. Puggles and see come to a a very sort of heavily fortified, heavily guarded base right on the edge of Tatooine, and you overhear a conversation as you get close to it, where Puggles is saying, "We've got there you go. I've got 20 of the best," and you hear. I'm not going to do the Mandalorian voice, but you hear the helmet like hiss, and it says 20 useless hunters. Look, you need to keep charge of them, Puggles. It's not on that. I need to take Talon myself. This is personal. Just let me do the talking. We'll need those to deal with all the stormtroopers and the bantha and the stuff out in the waste. But when we get to Talon, leave it to me. We know where he is, and he'll trust me. Don't you worry.
Interesting.
And I think, you've got a basic as well. I think you'll get some information. There's no sort of reference to slug flats, and you can also tell, Casca's. There's a very well appointed ship at the docks that you can sort of work out that might be Casks. He's not a native to Tatooine. He doesn't have any links here that you know of, except apparently to Talon in hiding here. But you do see, Slag Flats obviously runs the gang here. All you can tell, she's very reclusive. So you can see there are some marks on here, on the sort of street corners and stuff that are hers. There don't tend to be big organized gangs as much in Mos Eisley because it's a target-rich environment for like just general solo crime. So she tends to be down, and she's generally well thought of. You can find that much out as well as you sort of make your way back along the listening into some of the street vendors and stuff. She's well thought of. She's fair. She's always like looked after people, and they do say that she was an Ulster from there. Okay, Gaz, you were holding court.
Yeah.
To try and deflect people towards that. I'm going to do this slightly differently.
Okay.
But go on. It's just describe what you're doing again.
I was going to say the other thing is, while I'm trying to distract and talk about all the places that talent could be, is to try and generate a bit of argument in the crowd as well, so people who may know where he is want to show off, because there's always some people like that, aren't they? You want to prove you wrong when you're on the verbal internet, as it would be in the town square. So I'm just going to like deliberately say things that are wrong to get people to tell me what the right answer is as well.
Amazing. So you're doing this. I think the action isn't. I'm going to say there's quite a lot of sort of argument going on anyway. You can certainly inform that, and a lot of the bounty hunters who haven't fallen in with Cask, you see some of them are like, "Oh, we'll go there tomorrow. Yeah, we'll plan it. Don't tell anyone." And then they notice that you're telling everyone somewhere else and aren't sure about it. All of this is going on for a bit until you hear a shout up. He's dead. He's dead. Old Hef's been murdered. And there's a general command, and you can see from where you are, it's over in this alley, and a big crowd of people are rushing in to try and find this crime scene. What do you do?
Well, I'll go along with it.
Okay.
I'll be modulating my voice as I'm going along to sound like different people.
Mm-hmm.
So to give more confusing things. And like shout out, I saw a Mandalorian flying out the back of here on his jetpack, and just like random stuff like that.
Amazing. So this is going to be critical difficulty. This is the stakes are for you to get there first and to be able to see it. I'm going to say with a big rush of people, this is going to be dangerous as well. So you might take some grit damage. You are impersonating people and doing it, so you might push it around. And nobody really cares if they push a droid to the ground too much at the moment here. So choose which skill you're going to do. You're going to have to make a critical roll, and you'll be taking some grit if you fail.
Yes, let's have a look. I think it's going to come down to my detect. I'm going to try and spot what the critical, because it'll be an alleyway and there'll be an area of it that's the important bit where the clue is, whereas everybody else will be trampling around, running all over the place. So I'm going to use my detect to try and spot what's important and get to that bit first.
Okay.
I got 3 basics. Is that?
So the good news is on a 3-2-1, 3 basics, you can trade in for 1.
I'll trade in for the critical.
Which would be 1 for that. So yeah. So you push your way first to it to find Old Hef is sort of 60-something old timer wearing a dusty tunic, clearly fallen a little bit on hard times. He is lying. You managed to be one of the first people to get there while the stormtroopers are still shouting, "Get out of the way, get out of the way." You can sort of turn his body over. You see from his face, he was not expecting this attack at all. And you can find in his neck a little poisoned dart. Is it the same kind that you found in Ensign whatever her name was at the start? Yes, it is.
If it isn't, I'd be really disappointed.
Yeah. And then there's a sort of general shout of like, "Get out of the way, get out of the way," as this like stormtrooper patrol starts like muscling in to try and resolve the issue from there.
Okay, I'm going to try and... I'll get out of the way, but I'm going to try and like triangulate where the dart would have come from by like the way the body fell, at what angle, and all this kind of how the dart's doing, to try and analyze where the assassin would have been.
Okay, go for it. Give me well, whatever skill you think that would be. It's up to you.
I don't want to milk detect too much, but it feels very much
Probably
like it
is.
Yeah.
There's not a trigonometry skill on here, so and critical.
I've got critical and a basic. I've got
amazing.
Nice.
Amazing. So where the dart came from, like it's angled down. It's been shot down at this thing. As you look up, expecting to see like a tower or something in the waning sort of twilight of the two suns of Tatooine, but there's nothing there. As if somebody in midair shot them. And as you sort of...
Someone's got a jetpack or something.
That would work, yeah. And in fact, as you sort of rush over to where that is, there are some scorch marks on the ground where somebody has set off.
Excellent. I shall rush back to my friends to tell them this key information.
Yeah. As the stormtroopers stand around really puzzled, like looking this way. Okay, it's getting towards midnight. It's time for you to meet and go to meet Slag Flats. Again, if we assume that we share all the information that we've got, Django, I'm assuming you've got the land speeder and not sort of letting it out of your sight at this stage.
Yeah, can I do a bit of souping up of it as well, Guy, to just redirect the fuel lines and put relax the dampeners so I can get some better speed on it?
I think that's reasonable. I think maybe everyone arrives as you're still doing this. So this vehicle would be speed 1. If you can make a critical roll to do this, it'll start at speed 2 for if there is a possibility of having to use it in a chase later in this adventure. Who knows?
Who knows?
That'll happen.
Okay, so I've got it's going to be a focus and a fix.
Go for it.
So I've got 2 on focus and 3 on fix. Here it goes. Now,
not quite enough. You can risk that basic with a reroll.
Yeah, I am going to do that and get a free reroll actually for repairing starships. Does this count as a starship?
I'll let you have it, yeah, because it's the closest thing to a starship you're going to meet in this session. So,
okay,
yeah,
that's fair enough. So here we go. I can roll 3 dice.
Yeah. Oh, it's not enough. It's a basic.
It's too battered, isn't it? This thing. I just can't connect it.
But it's the person behind the wheel that makes the most difference to these things.
If it's a starship that you're after, Django, there's a quite fancy one over in the docks. Belongs to a Mandalorian. He seems to be out and about at the minute. Maybe one for taking advantage of.
That could be our escape route out of here as soon as we find Talon.
So you are met then by Bolar, the shifty chap that met Lunal. He says, "These are your men." He looks around. He says, "Very well. Follow me. Are you taking the speeder?"
Of course, yeah. Black smoke coming out of the cooling veins.
Okay, he's on a little sort of jet bike thing, and he takes you out of Mos Eisley into the sort of pitch black of the desert night. You can just see coming up on the horizon. There's a bank on the endless desert of Tatooine, and a water cooling tower. Off the far side of the bank, there's some sort of maintenance buildings, which you can see. And there are various sort of footprints you can see going this way and that in front of the tower. He stops and puts out and says, Slag's in there. She knows you're coming. And gestures to the sort of open cargo door that goes into the base of this big sort of cylindrical water cooling tower.
And it's still dark around here, is it, Guy?
Yeah, still sort of twilight dark. Pretty, there's the odd light here and there. There's a couple of lights above the tower to obviously stop things crashing into it. There's a couple of lights above the buildings, but there's not really any sign. This is quiet, too quiet.
TP, give us visuals.
I was going to say, I know my role here. That's to walk straight in and see if I shoots at me, which is
with your head flashlight.
So yeah, my eyes flick to red because that shows that I'm looking at infrared now. And I'll start looking around and wandering in to try and trigger any traps, mines, assassins, darts, or anything else that might be going on.
Okay, so T3PO is leading the way into this the water tower. The three of you, are you following or not? The land speeder obviously won't fit into here. You'd have to dismount and walk in.
Yeah, I'm following T3PO.
Yeah.
I've got a bad feeling about this. Just thought I'd get it in.
Amazing. So T3PO leading the way. You come to a big circular room, which is the actual water tower itself. You can see that there's some filing cabinets, a desk in one sort of corner of it, and behind it, the shadowy figure in the dim light of the Ithorian's big head. But as you approach, does not move. And just as you get a little closer, it just slumps. yeah, there's nothing. I mean, it's still warm, but yeah. The big hammerhead of the Ithorian clunks down onto the desk. There's a glint of a dart embedded in the thick neck of this. And as that happens, there's a much louder clang as the doors behind you slam shut, and a whoosh. As you look to your feet, you see water begin to fill up the silo. That might be a good place for us to take our first break, as you have stumbled into the trap. Well, walked straight into it.
Boldly walked into the trap.
Yeah. So we'll take 5-10 minutes. It'll be edited down for you at home, so it'll just be 5 seconds for you at home, and we'll see you back in a short while. Welcome back. Our heroes are trapped in a water tower on Tatooine as it begins to fill with water. As is the way of such action films, you glanced down and saw the water just trickling. It was maybe an inch deep just around your feet. As you look down again now, it's up to your knees. And the desk is starting to float away with Slagflat's Ithorian body floating off from it as it is filling faster and faster and faster. Can our heroes escape? Well, let's see. They're going to have to roll some dice to do that. You need to tell me what approach you are taking. Everyone's going to have to roll for this. What approach you are taking to try and secure your freedom from the water tower, and then roll some dice. This is going to be a critical, dangerous roll, which means if you don't get that critical success, you're going to take some grit damage. I might go to, let's see, who'll be the first to react. Maybe
I think I have to, because I have the least amount of time, right? If it's up to their waist, it's up to my neck.
Yeah, the robe is floating behind you. You're like,
exactly.
Let's go to Craig first. What does Lunal do to try and get out of it?
So I leap up onto the desk as it floats near one of the walls, and you see the saber come out, and I'm doing the classic stab the saber into the wall and just doing the plasma cutting to try to cut a hole in this thing. So if it's all right with you, I'm going to go brawn and fight.
Amazing.
Using
Make
my
the roll.
saber. How do we feel about that?
I'm very happy about that.
Wonderful. That's going to give me 6 dice. You say I need a critical?
Yeah.
I have that. I have a critical with one crit. So
you're going to be successful. You're going to get out. That's going to get you out soon enough. Adding to that, probably when you narrate this, add to that scene with what you're doing to sort of help or assist and see what's going on. And the next reactor, I mean, Django, you've got lightning reflexes, haven't you? As a hotshot pilot.
Absolutely, and water doors, but speed is with hinges. And he's going to head towards the door and see if he can get a spanner into it and get the thing open. It might be sealed shut, but it hasn't met my ability with a spanner yet. So that's what I'm going to do.
I think you're having to duck down into the water to try and get it. Oops. Do it. Let's see.
Exactly. Okay, let's have a look. I've lost my dice roller. Hang on. This is never have a break, guy.
Disadvantage of it.
Yeah. Okay, here we go. So again, with my fix, I've got a focus of 2 and a fix of 3. So it gives me 5 dice. Here goes.
It's not quite enough. That'll be a basic success. Do you want to risk that basic to try and
I am going to risk that basic because we've got to get out of here.
Roll your 3
roll
dice.
3 dice. Yeah, here goes.
There you go. That's a critical. 3 ones.
That's a critical.
So yeah, you managed to the spanner eventually connects and opens, and you're able to sort of push and
these tumblers are shy, but they're moving.
Amazing. T3PO. How do droids cope underwater?
Terribly. So what I'm doing is I'm jury-rigging a pumping device from bits of metal around to extract the water at a faster rate than it's coming in to try and... So
I won't ask which bits of metal.
Yeah, might be part of me, might be part of anything else I can get my hands on. So this is a fix roll, I think, fairly obviously. I've got 3 5s there and 2 3s, so a critical and a regular.
That is critical. Yeah, you are. That's going to be successful. Put them out. And finally, Hard Rat, surely you've been in this kind of situation before.
Yeah, and the only way out of these things is to take the path of least resistance, fully expecting that we wouldn't be able to cut a hole in the door, in the side of the thing, or Jimmy, the door open. He's got onto the highest thing there, and it's just letting the water levels rise to carry him up to the top.
Which is open,
obviously
actually.
he doesn't reach the top because now there's holes and it's going out.
What are you doing?
There is just there's that ladder that goes out to the top, so he reaches up to there with nerves and cool. He grabs that, or attempts to, and to catch it, and then slide down the side of the water tower on the other side. But let's see if the dice like that actually happens.
Let's see how good that looks. Yeah.
We'll fix it in post.
Ooh, 2 basics. Try the reroll, risk a basic, or
I'm going to spend an adrenaline to use my mastermind to repeat any one roll of any kind, ignoring -1s.
Very nice.
Cool.
So that's my adrenaline gone. And so do I just roll the 1 dice there?
You can technically roll as many as you want. If you could just roll that 1 and hope you get a 5 or 6, or you could re-roll them all if you want to with your mastermind, because
it's a free reroll.
Yeah.
I think I'm going to re-roll the whole lot actually, and I'm in exactly the same place. So
okay. I mean, you've got 2 basic. You could go all in if you wanted to. For that, you would just roll that 1 dice and hope you get it. But if you fail, you're going to lose all your successes and take 3 grit. Whereas those basic successes will mitigate some of the damage that you would take normally.
I'm going all in.
So I think for that, you can just roll that 1 dice that isn't a match. You can't.
Yep. 1 in 3 chance here. You got this, or not.
Oh, yeah. So I think it happens.
It's just out of reach.
As described, but your descent down the water tower is somewhat less dainty than you expected as you bounce on various. It looked like a smooth cylinder from outside, but it's much less smooth as you roll down it on your back
Yeah, there's a reason this is disused.
Yeah, and you're going to take 3 grit because
Wow.
you're all in. You lose all of those successes as you bounce your way to the bottom. And gradually, by your various methods, you all rush out to the speeder as you scan the horizon. Just by the buildings nearby, you see another speeder. There's 2 bounty hunters there you can see them with the big goggles looking at you, and you can see one of them clench his fists in frustration, seeing that you that you escaped, and signal to quickly run away as they pile into the speeder and begin to set off. What do you do?
Shoot them. If
I'm
it's dramatic
already
as they're driving off, I'm shooting behind them as like required by law.
Yeah.
I'm already at the speeder looking at Django like,
Yeah.
Yeah.
Do you suddenly feel that this has got personal? I'm going to hotwire the speeder to get it ramming up.
Yeah. I like the fact you're going to hotwire it. There's no.
We've got the keys and everything, but
Yeah. Never mind the keys. They're for wimps.
Okay.
Has the keys dangling like, oh.
I'm just imagining with the water tower, a little dongle or something like bobbing on the ones.
Yeah. They're there somewhere. Yeah. They've got one of those cork balls that people have to stop you losing them. It's just at the top of it. Yeah. So as you see the speeder pull off, but then your speeder fires into life, and you can give chase. So do not worry if you are concerned that just Chris will be rolling lots of dice here, because everyone gets to go in chase scenes, and the system for chase scenes here is called Need for Speed. The need is the objective of the chase. You have 10 boxes that you need to fill in to track down this land speeder and catch up with it and find out with who they are. You are currently at speed 1 because you're just a basic land speeder. That means, as it stands, at the end of your turn, when you've all let it go, you'll be filling in one of those boxes on the speed check. All of you, though, in the action turn, get a chance to improve that speed. It can be by driving fast, which is possibly what Django's going to do, but it could also be by, using Jedi powers to try and confuse them. It could also be by raining their speeder with bullets, which would slow them down a bit. It's all sort of abstracted, but you all get to make a critical check of your own to increase the speed. We keep a track of where that goes up to. I should warn you that once you get to speed 5 or speed 6, it gets a little bit harder for Django to control, but it does mean that you'll get to cut them down a little bit sooner. And in this sort of need of 10 dots that I'm filling in, the 5th dot does trigger something as well. There's a reaction that triggers when you fill that one in as well. So as you set off, it's an action turn first as you pile over the ridge and through the dunes to try and chase this speeder. Who wants to take? You can go in whatever order you want. Who wants to take the first roll? Maybe T3PO. You said you were firing at him, didn't you? So maybe that's the first roll that we have.
Yeah, I mean that's just the sheet of the thing as it goes off, and then as our speeder comes past, I'll leap on it. And the hardest to control, the faster we go, sounds like a Django problem, so I'm not worried about that. So I'll just take off one of the panels, which goes hurtling off behind us. And my lubricant hose that we've established, I'm going to start spraying into the carburetor to kind of give us some extra fuel. So I'm going to try and on the fly fix the speeder to make it go.
As it sort of coughs and splutters.
Because it's juggling all over the place.
Okay, make the roll.
That's just an ordinary success, I think.
It's not. Yeah, you want to reroll it. You need a critical to improve the speed.
Now, I couldn't reroll before. Have we earned points or something that enabled me to do that? Or...
No. So to reroll, you need to have got at least one success.
Right.
That's the route that was tricky because you risk that success to.
Because you've got to risk it. Yeah. Okay, so I'll keep my 2 6s and I'm going to reroll. I'll get out the bottle of tequila I brought with me from the bar as well and start pouring that in to see if that helps out in some way. So I've got 4 6s now.
That's better, isn't it? So that is extreme success. That will so there's a sort of, this is like a Mario Kart speed boost thing that goes on here. The tequila does it, I think, and the blue flame flares out of the back of this speeder as you're now at speed 3. So you'll be knocking off 3
Yeehaw!
when you get there as you
Yeah, that's nice. I was 3
over the
3.
dunes. Who wants to go next?
If it's okay, I'd love to.
Go for it, yeah.
As we're going, I lean out, and as they go past ahead of us, they go past a sand dune.
Yeah.
I'm going to try to do a brawn stunt to kind of push some sand into the driver's face to kind of create a cloud to slow them down.
Sounds amazing.
So my brawn stunt, that's going to be 6 dice. And that is a mere, geez, I got 2 basics. I will do a reroll. There's nothing that I can do to help here. So I'm just going to roll 2 die and hope to pick up.
There you go.
All right. I did pick it up. I got a
it's a critical. It's critical. So you're going at speed 4 now. So this is all abstracted. So I think we do see the other speeder sort of this way and that, puts the goggles back on, and we see a bit of panic in there. The guy next to him in the passenger seat turns around with a blaster rifle and starts trying to shoot at you, but he's firing wild. He's got no idea really. Hardrat or Django, do you want to have a go now?
Maybe if that's okay. Hardrat is kind of looking at what the route is that the speed is going to take. So he's looking ahead of the path, and he sees that there are things that can blow up in the path, and he will just casually raise his pistol up at something up ahead. It's a tall tree, in fact, and he knows exactly the right place to hit it, that it's going to come crashing down in the path of the runaway land speeder, and stop it dead in its tracks. That's what he thinks is going to happen in his head, at least.
Sounds amazing.
And he's a gunslinger, so he gets to re-roll.
Yeah.
He's got 1 basic at the moment, so he'll re-roll 3 of those dice, hoping for another 3, and he gets that for critical effect.
Critical, amazing. So yeah, we see the land speeder has to it has to spin round to avoid this tree. It takes the whole rear fin of it, is sort of blown off as it truckles around. At the great speed you're going on, Django, you also have to move to avoid this tree. But as you are gaining on it, this is your chance to really secure. You're at speed 5. So as you're gaining on it so fast, Django, I'm afraid to tell you that this roll is going to be a gamble for you to pilot the land speeder, which just means any 1s that are left at the end will cost you a grit.
Okay. I'm going to say, hold on to your hats. We're going to go vertical. So we're going to take an incline over this explosion and drop down. Okay. And grip on the TP. Hold on for your life. Hear that tequila scream. Here we go.
That's a basic. It's not a crit that you would need to increase the speed. It's up to you. You can reroll if you want. Reroll the 4 dice.
I get a free reroll.
Oh,
I've got a 1.
Reroll the 4 then. You can reroll the 1s as well. It's how many of it got at the end. Give you the ones.
Okay, here we go. So it's critical, isn't it?
I don't think it is, I'm afraid.
No.
You need to have got a 3. You've got 2 basic. So, and you're going to take 1 grit as you are buffeted about by this.
Okay.
You are at speed 5, though. You are gaining on them another round like this, and you will certainly manage to catch up on them. We can see that they are well within blaster fire, which is good, except for you guys, as finally the bounty hunter in the passenger seat finds his eye and fires a hail of blaster fire at you, dotting everyone around. This is the reaction turn. What happens here is you all need to roll, and you all need to give me a critical. I'm going to say it's going to be nerves plus cool to try and avoid being shot by this. So everyone would like to do that and let me know. We'll go around and you can let me know what you got in the end. Take for that.
I'm going to re-roll. It didn't help. So
Okay.
Ended up
So
with a crit.
yeah, so if you got a crit, that's fine. You take no grit. If you didn't, you're going to be taking 3 grit to start with. But for each basic success that you got, that'll knock 1 grit off. So like Django, you got 1 basic success, so you'll just take 2 grit as you are grazed by blaster fire.
Okay, I'll take it.
Same with Hard Rat.
Yeah,
Hard
as
Rat
you
on
do
basic.
that.
I did have a success, but I tried to I risked it to try and get
it and failed it. Yeah,
I failed it, so I could take 3.
So blaster fire, you get nearer to it, and you can sort of hear there's something. The driver is reaching back to something that's sort of bundled up in the back of this land speeder, and it's like just make sure he doesn't escape. As this the passenger sort of momentarily stops firing at you and leans down to check the bindings on the thing in the back of that land speeder as he rolls. That they turn now into some tight sort of badlands and curve down into some canyons and are going this way and that. So not easy to get a clear shot at them, but much more dangerous sort of driving away to go with this. It's back to an action turn. If you can stay at speed 5, you're going to complete this at the end of the action turn. You're going to get there. You can go up to speed 6 if you want to. That does mean that your driver is going to suffer -1 to all rolls, but you need to get at least the basic success to maintain speed, if you see what I mean. So if we go through really quickly and do a pass of that now, maybe if we do it in the same order, T3PO, what are you doing?
Yeah, I'm programmed not to shoot people, but coming into like a hands up.
Sorry, hands up. So real quick, guy, those each of us that have failed to reach the crit, our speed goes down 1.
It does indeed, I'm afraid. Yeah, that's 3 of you, isn't it?
Not to be that guy, yeah.
Yeah,
so
I do appreciate it. That's good. Speed goes down to 2. Maybe that's you going through going into the canyon. So yeah, you do need to increase it as you duck around. Thank you for that clarification. Always happy for you to sabotage the players. Craig, carry on. Do it later as well. Go on, sorry, guys.
Last time Craig shows up on this stream.
So T3PO can't shoot people, obviously, but handling now in the canyons, what he can do is start shooting the rock faces to rain down pebbles and boulders and things like that and make life difficult for the speeder ahead of us. So that's what I'll be doing. I'll be blasting the rocks to create all kinds of problems for them. Or trying to, anyway. Oh, and I've managed to do my special of getting a straight again, which would be great in poker, but is no use here whatsoever.
And yeah, you can't re-roll it as it stands because you can't risk it. So yeah, they're not the.
So I'm just like, yeah, just shooting into the sky, and things are flying off everywhere, and probably a womp rat dies somewhere in the.
Amazing. Lunal, what are you up to?
I think Django, you took some damage, right? Took some grit damage.
I did. Yeah, my goggles are cracked when it took a blast.
So I think I'm going to attend to you, and try to help you feel better. So I think I'm going to do a focus heal, hopefully increasing our speed by making you a little bit more capable and healthier.
By chilling out Django a bit.
Yeah, a little bit. Cleaning his goggles and so on and forth. So
give me some of that tequila.
I've got 5 dice between my attribute and we need a critical. Which, boy, oh boy, we are struggling, aren't we? I've got 1 basic. I will risk it and re-roll 3 of them, looking for a 3, which I do get.
You are amazing. Yeah, speed goes up to 3. Yeah, Django, you are calmed and chilled by Lunal's attentions, getting the fluffy dice sorted and things, getting them not skewing things.
Swapping them out.
Yeah. Changing the tape on the deck so it's something that is better from that. Amazing. Hard Rats?
Well, they used to say that there are no shortcuts, there are just faster ways to get there, but obviously we're not getting there any faster, so we'll take a shortcut. And that's what he does. He's scanning the terrain as he has been doing, and he's looking at, actually, we can cut them off here, we can go over this bit, and it's like we can cut off at least 30% of the distance that we need to go by just being smarter. So that's an awareness, I think.
Yeah.
Does it have to be crime and awareness, or would it?
It doesn't technically. A lot of the examples in the book are, but it doesn't need to be linked to it. So it could be focus and awareness, for instance, or nerves and awareness, or whichever one. It's up to you.
I'm gonna go with focus and awareness, even though crime is better for me. But I think narratively it makes more sense for it to be focus. Oh, and that's a basic, and I think we're going to get a free reroll because we're tailing here from Shadow. So reroll one of those.
It's a stretch, but I'll let you have it. Yeah, it's not there yet. Shadow and speed through the canyons.
That's what I get. So it's two basics.
Oh yeah, speed doesn't go down, but yeah, it's not really. It's just hard. This area of Tatooine isn't mapped very well, so it's quite hard for you to work out what's happening in here. And finally, Django, can you close the deal?
Yeah, so we're following these alleys and maneuvering through these spires, and I seem to remember that these L5Vs speeders, they've got an overburn button. I'm going to hit that and see what happens.
So just to set the stakes before you roll, if you can get an extreme success, that'll be enough to get your speed up to 5, and you'll catch them this roll. That would need a match of 4. I don't want to. You might want to save it, but everyone's got a spotlight, which spotlight is you can spend that for an extreme success as well if you want to have a great moment where you do that. But
I think this is the moment, isn't it? This is Django's moment in the spotlight. So as he's fiddling around, he finds that overburn button, and big purple flames blast out of the back of the speeder, and everybody's thrown backwards as we lurch forward and get on the tail right up against them.
Yeah. And you do. That will be enough to get an extreme success, puts your speed up to 5, which means you can fill in the track, and you do, in fact, catch them. As you're racing through the canyons, you just get up right behind them and manage to clip the side of it, and that's enough for it to start spinning and tumbling. And the speeder tips over, disgorges these 2 bounty hunters and what looks to be a tied up man in the back seat of it, as the speeder goes flying off into a wall and obviously explodes. Star Wars, everything explodes when it hits there. And these bounty hunters fall down, and you're left with just this body tied up, just teetering on the edge of a precipice there as you sort of spin around and do it. And you hear a soft voice shouting, "Help, help, help."
I'm going to do a Jedi jump as we're kind of peeling out and bringing it to a stop, land, and pull him to safety.
It says, "Oh, thanks." As you sort of pull the sort of mask off, this is an old human, long wispy grey beard. It says, "Oh, thank you. I've not had a time like that since we first got to Tatooine. Thanks for rescuing me, kid. Arno's the name. Don't know what those bounty hunters wanted with me."
Well, you're the man we've been looking for, sir, and we're going to get you to safety.
Oh. So we can cut to you maybe camped out in the waste somewhere with old Arno, in fact, one of the oldsters, holding court with it. What do you tell him of your mission? What are you giving him, a précis of everything that's going on?
I'll leave that to, I think that Harder would be the one to be able to assess whether that'd be safe or not.
I think we've had good trust with with the old ones, the oldsters,
different game.
Not had good trust with those. I think they generally come across as like we can rely on these, and so I think we'll give them enough information to say, look, we're after this old figurehead, Adar, and we think he's in danger. And I guess I'm kind of assessing whether or not this guy is sympathetic to our cause, or not. And the more he is, then the more I'll happily disclose.
Yeah, I think you get Yeah. Adar Talon, that's a name I've not heard in a while.
Well, there's a whole bunch of folks out to get him, including a Mandalorian runs by the name of Cass. Says it's something personal between him and Adar. Maybe you know something about that, something that can help us get some leverage over him to make sure that Adar is safe.
Says, oh yeah, Cast. He used to run around with a Mandalorian in the past when he came here. I'd heard rumors he's camped out in the wastes. I'm not sure where he is, but luckily there's not that many places somebody could hide in the wastes and not be trampled by bantha and stripped apart by Jawas. I think I can find where he might be. The old Tuscan fort is up here. I can guide you here. There's not many people would know the way around the wastes of Tatooine anymore. Only probably me, old Hef, and Slag. Oh, it's been too long since we hung out, the three of us oldsters. How I miss them.
We've got some bad news for you, old guy. I'm afraid your old friends, they've got a needle in their neck and are now dead.
Needle in their neck? Who could have done that?
More to the point, why are you still alive?
I don't know. Those guys jumped me, took me there. Told them I needed to show them where the old Tuscan fort is. Maybe that's where we need to look. It'll be a long journey across the wastes. And from what I gather, this place is crawling with bounty hunters. But if Cast is involved, there's too much of a risk that Talon might trust him. And it might be too late.
Why would Talon trust him?
They used to run around in the old days, work together a few times. Talon, he was with the rebellion. You don't hear much about them now. Don't know if they're still even going. Certainly haven't heard of any heroics that they've done since Talon's day. But Talon, he was one of the best. And he used Cast sometimes to take him about places. If Cast gets there, though, if Cast is working for the Imperials now, he'll take him in. Talon will trust him. We've got no time to lose.
Good job. I brought an extra bottle of tequila, I say. Punk.
Villa up.
Amazing. So he's keen to go to where he thinks Talon will be to try and rescue him, the Tuscan fort. We're going to do now. So just looking at time and pacing and what we're going to do. So those of you following along at home, and some of us who've run the module will be aware that in Tatooine Manhunt, the published adventure, the next part going across the wastes is probably about 12 hours of gaming content as you encounter various relevant and irrelevant encounters as if it was some massive wilderness hex crawl, which it is. I'm sorry to disappoint fans of the original authentic module, but we're not going to do that today. Instead, as many on the channel will do, where we're going to do a montage of the things that you encounter as you go across the wastes. So how we're going to do this is I'm going to introduce for you the first challenge you will face and pass the baton to one of you. They're going to describe how you overcome that challenge and what the next challenge is that you face. And we're going to go round until we get to the end and you'll arrive at the Tuscan fort, which is in fact where Talon is hiding. For this, we're going to step back and be in the GM seat a little bit more. But just to set the scene, obviously this is the wastes of Tatooine. There are many creatures around. The bantha herds are known to be very dangerous. There's strange priesthood out in the waste that worship the bantha. Can they be trusted or not? There's still Imperials out here looking for Talon and other things, and of course there's a whole cavalcade of bounty hunters of various types, as well as all the dangers you would expect in the wastes like this. So if everyone's happy with that, I will start up. We'll play it by ear as to what order we go in, so whoever gets an idea can sort of shout up, because I'm sure we all know enough about the setting to do that. So you set off. Arno is keen for you you get there straight away, and you are making good time. He rolls out an old paper map of the wastes, which looks to most of you like just a long a huge brown sheet of paper with the occasional dot marked on it. There is not much out here at all. And you are making good time over the first times. Django obviously going at fast speed until you're going for the shortest route. Visibility starts to get a little bit low. There's a little bit of sand stinging your eyes. And before you know it, although Arno is like, go on, go on, go on, as he puts his goggles on, you find yourself in a full-on Tatooine sandstorm. You can't see your arms out in front of you, let alone which way you should be going. And it's not clear whether you're even going in the right direction. The map that he's holding gets blown away in the wind, and you are left lost in this desert landscape. Who would like to pick up and describe how you overcome that?
That's all right. I'll sit down next to Django as he's trying to pilot away. Going, he knew that the cigarette lighter had been rewired for the turbo boost. That was takes the best pilot in the galaxy to work that out, doesn't it? Don't worry, on the next bit, I've got you covered. And I unscrew the top of my head, and there's a big compass in it, which can point us in the right direction. Just keep an eye on this, I'll say. Just hunker down next to
Lean forward.
I don't think you become a hood ornament.
And there's like gyroscope kind of like points around. And of course, it's got like holographs on it as well, because it has to, because it's Star Wars.
Yeah, looking at the same time. Yeah, nostalgic, but also really high tech. And yeah, you're able to shuffle forwards out of the sandstorm,
which is great. The bad news is, of course, that as we burst out of the sandstorm into clarity of the blue skies and empty deserts, we see a dot over the dunes, hugging low, bouncing up and down and coming towards us. I realise one of the Hutt family's sail barges has somehow managed to reach at the same location at the same time we have, packed with all kinds of mercenaries and ne'er-do-wells as ports open up on the side of it and long rifles point out in our direction. Also, I say this is someone else's problem and screw my head back on again.
Yeah. And this is to just be clear, you are well outgunned here, and well in trouble with it. Yeah, in fact, yeah, literally. Yeah. I didn't even mean that, but yeah, there's a fire of blaster fire that warning shot that blows at the desert in front of you. You know that one shot from this could probably just take the land speeder out and leave you stranded in the middle of the desert. Who wants to solve that obstacle? Go for it, Craig.
I think I jump up on the hood and got my left hand holding onto the windshield to keep me stable. And I am doing just as I have practiced. And I am just deflecting as just shot after shot after shot. Some of them are hitting, but Django can handle that. He's a hell of a driver. And just enough to get us past. We're going to come out the other side in worse shape than we came in, but we are going to come through on the other side. And I think one of the last blasts we can see hit the Hutt barge, and we see the barge kind of into the sand.
Yeah. That's tricky for them to go back to Jabba and report on what's happened. And you're able to proceed. You're getting closer to it, but it's still a long journey. What's the next obstacle, Craig, that everyone faces?
I think that we find ourselves going into a canyon at that point, and where we head and where we're pursued, they have set up an ambush there. So as we're going through, we suddenly start seeing heads pop up, and actually no, it is a Jawa ambush. It has nothing to do with this at all. Yeah. We just see the Jawa's heads start popping up in this canyon, and they're looking the fact that our speeder is almost completely disassembled already. So this is easy salvage for them.
Yeah, we hear there's a little subtitle that comes out with is that a disassembling compass head on the droid too? Yeah, they're really rare, aren't they? We should get a fortune for that. Yeah. Who's going to resolve this Jawa ambush?
You're in luck, because this is one of my pod racing haunts. I know this canyon well. Yeah. And the way to deal with this is hold on tight, because we're going to flip and go upside down for our protection, and go low and weave in and out of the different spires as the Jawas, Utini, and start shooting at us in the distance. And we get out of the way and we flip over, only to be faced with a Bantha stampede coming at us. There must be about 20 of them running straight towards the speeder.
Narrow canyon that you're in, probably. Yes.
And I'm going to turn around to Hardrat and say, how do we get out of this?
And he points. There's this kind of a boulder that's sticking out, which is kind of just big enough for the herd to be able to stampede over, but for us to sneak behind it, almost as if in that other famous franchise, we're just cowering while the big bads are trying to get to us, and we're shrouded by this dust. And it's clogging up maybe it's clogging up the engine vents and stuff like that. But there's this cavalcade of legs that we see going over us, and there are some hideous sights of the undersides of Bantha as we take shelter and refuge in the side of this boulder.
Amazing. And what's the final obstacle that you face as you approach the Tusken Fort?
And the final obstacle is there is we have got we're not the only ones there, actually. There is I think that there is an imperial patrol. I think they've got here. There's an indicator that we're probably not alone here. They're flying low. They're looking out for. They know that there's going to be loads of bounty hunters coming around here. They're probably not expecting us, and they're scouting, keeping an eye out for trouble or danger. But they didn't count on us.
Yeah, and there's a so we're thinking like a pair of TIE fighters going in, like this, breaking fire down here, obviously missing you, but in the first wave, but it comes back to do it as well. I think so. I have to get you to overcome this, don't I? I think that's the moment when the Hutt cartel return to finally take you down. The indignity that they suffered before, they're not going to take lightly. And so just as these TIE fighters bank round, we see another Hutt sort of hover tank almost appear around the corner. And the TIE fighters bank suddenly adjusts a little bit, and they make a calculation that maybe a land speeder, broken down land speeder with 4 shifty looking bounty hunters that look a little bit worse for wear, probably isn't the biggest target they should be focusing on now. And you are able to like duck out of the way and avoid this ongoing gunfight. And you can arrive at the Tusken Fort. This is a sprawling, flat structure, clearly fortified, quite low, maybe 1 story to it. You can see as you arrive, there is already a pair of much, much better looking land speeders there, parked outside, and the telltale sort of boot prints of going in there. How do you want to play this? Arne says, that's Talons in there. All right. Looks like we might not be the first to get here, though. What do you want to do?
Ardred, I'm sure you already have a plan.
What's the type of building that this is?
So sort of a single story, circular, like a sort of pillbox, but flat with lots of rooms in it. So big, but clearly fortified, made of sort of concrete. Doesn't look very nice from the outside. Shooting your way in would be very, very difficult. It is a fort. The big door at the front from it, and clearly a few other ways in if you wanted to go around and try and sneak in.
Check for the other entrances, secure those, and make sure that the back entrance is one that we can go into. Maybe the front entrance is we can block that off, and so that and if we kind of create a distraction from the front and then go in around the back, kind of lure them into thinking that we're somewhere around here. Probably get those land speeders out of the way so that they can't kind of go and make a quick exit if they do manage to get out before us. Maybe that's something that Django, you can kind of rig for us. Maybe T3PO, there's some voices that you can mimic. Possibly, they're expecting Ardo to be there. Maybe there's some kind of distraction in the pretending to be Arno that can lure them out while we go in round the back to pull the other guys at Talon.
Tunnels, right? There's got to be Tuscans have tunnels. They know this place, don't they? So they won't leave themselves with only one way to get in and out.
Yeah, there's ventilation shafts and tunnels, I say. And I'll start, my mouth will open like a printout will come with schematics. Just like.
You're almost out of toner.
That's right, yeah. It's really faded and there's lines and stuff.
Yeah, I mean, it's a dot matrix, though, isn't it? That's how it's like, it's too loud. Takes ages, really loud. Yeah, so are you thinking of distraction at the front and then sneak in? Was that the gist of your plan, Hardrat?
Yeah. And neutralize the speeders, I think, is a good idea.
Yeah. Or whether it's neutralize them or take them for us.
Yeah, I think that I will jump in and go, no. That one will be faster going back.
Yeah, exactly.
As yours like lurches to one side again, and then the other wing mirror falls off. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. In fact, we swap them. put our old Vita one.
To the license plate off.
Luckily, Django's the one that put the deposit down. So.
Yeah. Found. Please return to this old man up front.
Yeah. Okay, so for the in the sense of getting it, all of that sort of goes as it is. You're able to get a distraction, and you're able to indeed find the Tuscan tunnels and sneak in. I think we probably do a screen wipe, cut to the sort of central room of Talon's thing, where you see Talon. He's a well-built rebel. You've seen pictures of him. Everyone knows what he looks like. He's got a sort of salt and pepper beard, strong jaw. He's dressed still like he means business. And you can sort of sneak in behind a pillar and you see him. He's got some several armed men with him, guarding him. And he's also with a man in Mandalorian armor and facepaint who says, and you can just overhear, he says, well, Cast, I'm glad you got to me before the Imperials did. You're still with the rebellion then? You need to take me in? It's been too long I've been in hiding. I'd love to work with the rebellion again, like you. I've had to pay all these mercenaries to look after me here. It's no life to be on the run. But you say you can offer me safety? And there's a nod of the Mandalorian's face as he does it. He says, there is just one thing. There's another squad dispatched by the Hutts I've heard of. You need to avoid. That'll seek to ransom you. A mismatched group they are. A protocol droid, a Bothan, some hotshot pilot, and a young kid. Whatever you do, Talon, don't trust them. Are you moving to interrupt this conversation? Or?
Yeah. I'll start using his voice and going, but most importantly, don't trust me because I'm a lying SOB. Remember that time when I didn't?
And you hear her, that's them. They must be here. What? That's who? Who said that? What's that? And as blaster fire erupts around here, Talon takes cover and Cast and his mercenaries. Cast, obviously, his jetpack engages and he starts flying around the place, and we are left in a big combat scene of this. So combat is abstracted, as you might expect in Outgunned. Talon and his goons are a boss, basically, and you have to fill in their track to try and take him down. Talon's quite a challenging boss. He has got an attack of extreme and a defense of critical. So that means that when you attack him, you need to get critical to hit him. He's also, because of his Mandalorian army, you can only inflict one grit on him at one time. So you're going to have to gradually fill in his thing. Bosses also have various things that trigger as you fill in their thing. So don't be surprised if even in this first action round, you're having to roll some reactions as it goes on. So you can describe attacking him. You can describe attacking this sort of group of bounty hunters armed with blasters that are blowing everything up here. Talon and his men are sort of staying out of it for now because they're not quite sure which way this is going to go. But feel free to dictate exactly what skills you're going to use or how you do it. Let's see. Maybe we go to
sorry.
I was going to go to you first, maybe, Craig, because I think Lunal might be the first one to see what's going on here.
Yeah, as I hop out of the tunnels and we get up there, I yell to the three of you, I'll protect Talon. And I get over to Talon and his men, and I grab him. I say, good sir, Mon Mothma has sent us. We'll get you out of here. We're the best they could send. And then we see the three of you come out.
Hopeless. As he looks down at you. The best. Is that a protocol?
The best we could send. It was a second.
I'm going to focus on on anybody who is trying to get to him and tackle him. Guy, who do you think that might be of the?
So these sort of mercenaries, there was some running towards him with blasters, trying to sort of just grab him and get him out of the way to get that thing. So you can focus on them certainly.
Yeah,
it'll all be the same. It's all the same track though, if you see what I mean. So it's all the same fight, if you see what I mean.
Is their defense critical?
Yes, you need to get a critical to hit.
Great. So you're seeing the saber coming out and me, aggressively trying to meet them before they meet us. And just so I will definitely do a brawn fight, which is going to give me 6 dice. Let me just see if I've got anything I want to do. Nope, I'm good. All right, let's give it a roll. Let's hope for a crit. Boy, oh boy. I've got 1, 2.
2 basic.
2 basic. I'm going to go ahead and re-roll the 1.
You can re-roll 2, actually, I think.
Oh, you're right. I could re-roll 2.
Yeah.
Re-roll another one. I'm looking for a 5 or a 2, which I got neither of. All right, I'm good.
Yeah, I think you're holding them off, but not really doing much to them. I think if you were prepared to deflect their blaster beams towards them to take them out, you would do it. But there's just too many of them to do it.
Well, and you got to give them an opportunity to get a little overconfident too. This is a play
them right where you want them. Yeah.
That's right.
Yeah. Let's say Django, you've got fast reactions, haven't you? What are you up to now?
Yeah. So Django's just admiring Talon's drinks cabinet. Quite an array of stuff there, and he's going to grab the hypertension soda bottle and leap onto the luxuriant settee and bounce and pour into the Mandalorian's backpack to try and neutralize it.
Into his jetpack. Amazing.
Yeah. Okay.
Amazing. You can choose what skill that is.
I think that is. I'd describe that as a stunt. Would you?
I think so. Yeah, I think that's a stunt. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. So here goes. My stunt level is. I've got brawn of 2 and stunt of 3. So that gives me 5. Here goes. Oh, got a critical there.
That is indeed a critical. And so, you I'll knock one of the things off. So, there's a sort of fizz as one of the jets like goes down and he flies off to one side carefully. As he does, he fires towards the side, reaches out his dart gun and shoots at you. He's going to use his counter ability that he can be triggered with that loss. So you lose the same amount of grit that he has just lost. So you're going to need to lose me another grit as you maybe catch this dart before it embeds itself in your neck, but your hand feels a bit numb where you got hold of it. Okay, that was Lunal. Hardrat.
Hardrat steps out of the shadows, and as he does so, he starts speaking. He announces quite loudly the Mandalorian's name. Cast. That rings a bell. I was wondering where I'd heard about it, and he starts monologuing at him to kind of keep him distracted and stuff. And he's relaying all the crimes that he's aware of, all the failed bounties that he's not managed to get, and he's kind of taunting him a little bit with this. And it's like there's another one.
That wasn't even me. No, that's not. No, that was a different man. There's more than one Mandalorian, you know. We're not all the same.
You all look the same.
Yeah.
This is your reckoning.
This is outrageous.
and indicating to Talon to go and to go under the protection of Lunal, and really kind of trying to keep the Mandalorian well and truly distracted. And I think this is a smooth speech.
Yeah, amazing. I like it.
Something I love about the system is that does grit damage, right? It's just it's so great.
Works, yeah. That's a basic. It's not quite enough. You can reroll if you want. Risk that basic.
I'm gonna petition you for a free reroll with pep talk when inspiring or coordinating others.
I'll let you have that. Yeah, that one. So it's less of a stretch than the shadowing one that I gave you earlier. Isn't it? So,
gave the other one.
Yeah. So you can have that. That does actually sort of fit.
It's a different interpretation of push the roll, isn't
it? Yeah.
Oh,
nice. That's it. Yeah, critical.
No, that's not what. That was one of the ones you re-rolled, though, isn't it?
It is one of the ones I re-rolled. Yeah, so it's a basic, unfortunately.
Oh no, because you re-rolled the one. Yeah.
You can go all in if you want. Because the basic isn't going to do anything. You can risk those basics and roll.
Let's go all in if that's the option that's available to me. Let's do this. I'm getting all the fives, but they're just spread out across different rolls.
Together.
Yeah, he's not really being as bothered by this. He's not falling.
He's a professional.
Yeah. T3PO. See if you can have more luck with it.
Yeah, so there's been various shouts from the Mandalorian to tell his various lieutenants and stuff what to do. So I'll be taking on their voices and say that let's backstab Froggy, and no wait, we're being shot in the back by Clint, and I'll be doing like a whole array of voices to try and confuse all his men to start shooting each other. I think that each of them is trying to backstab the other one.
Roger.
Yeah, and I'll liberally shoot at people with my pistols to kind of add to the similitude of this. So this is speech, I guess. Which so I'll risk the basic success I've got to reroll 3 dice. Looking for 2s. Yep, so I'll get an extreme. 4 successes, whatever those.
Extreme success on that. That is amazing. They take 2 of them down. That is amazing. So they do sort of fall about one another and begin shooting one another and doing all of this. There's lots of sort of chaos engaging in this chaos, though, because that does trigger another reaction. Lunal, you notice this fight is getting closer and closer to you, and actually one of the mercenaries, you notice a hand on your wrist, and before you make to do it, it's trying to wrestle your lightsaber off you. Can you make me a critical brawn plus dexterity roll? Otherwise, you're going to be disarmed.
Gotcha. Okay, yeah, I'm good. Brawn dexterity.
Yeah.
All right. So brawn. We say brawn dexterity. Got it. Okay. 1, 2. All right. 5 dice.
Yeah, they don't match.
Understood. Yep. I gotcha. And 2 basics. I'm going to risk it and re-roll 1 die to hope for a 5 or a 3.
Yeah.
Oh.
No, as it goes off, it skitters across the room in the direction of the Mandalorian, but he hasn't quite noticed it for now as your saber is gone. Obviously narrate that next turn. Right, it's time for the reaction round. What I need you to all do. So generally what is happening is a hail of gunfire here. This is all in quite a confined space. as this gang, and also a sort of half jetpacked Mandalorian is trying to fire at everyone. I need you all, please, to make me a reaction roll, which will be, I think, brawn and stunt. Your best bet is to try and get out of the way and get into some cover, of which there is quite a bit here. So if you can all roll me brawn and stunt, you need to get extreme, I'm afraid, for this. Otherwise, you're going to be taking quite a bit of grit damage.
I want to spend my point of adrenaline.
I'm going to spend a point as well to get an
to use my outsmart ability to make a reaction roll with a different skill.
Nice.
So yeah, I'm instead.
That's a great feat.
Yeah, right. So I'm instead going to be using it to detect incoming shots. So like I go into like bullet time mode, like Matrix style, to spot when the people's twitching of the shoulder means a gun's coming in my direction and already be out of the way.
Yeah. Okay. If you want to roll, guys, you need to get.
I get 3 6s, so that's critical.
So a critical isn't quite enough, but it will not.
Oh, is it?
You need to get extreme, otherwise you're going to take 6 grit. You can spend, though, just so it's on the table, though, that if you spend that critical will reduce the severity of it. So you'll just take 3 grit, if you like.
Yeah, I'm happy to do that, actually. I don't think I'd be able to avoid all the shots, so I think it's fine, though.
The rest of you want to roll, it's going to be, again, brawn plus stunt, or...
Yep, I've got 6 in that, plus I'm spending an adrenaline to make it 7 dice.
Go for it.
And I also got an extreme and a critical and a basic.
So that'll be 2 grit to be taken, unless you want to.
Yeah, I'm going to risk the basic and re-roll 2 dice.
Go for it. 2 critical, actually, isn't it?
So I got 2 criticals.
That is actually technically enough. The way that the sort of nuance of the system works to take it down by 3. So yeah, you don't take any grit, you survive. Obviously, Jedi jumping around and stuff works for this. I think. Hard Rat or Django, do you want to make your thoughts?
So I got a basic on 4 dice.
That's going to be 5 grit you're going to be taking.
I can't go all in on that to re-roll the lot.
You can, because you've got you can go all in to re-roll the 2 dice. Because to try and get an extreme from that, but you need to risk the basic, basically.
Yeah, I'll risk it. And now I've got two basics.
Okay, so that'll be 4 grit you're taking. And Django, did you get
that's above my bad?
Okay, so it triggers your bad. What condition do you get from the you look? Do we think hurt is the obvious one, but it could also be nervous, like a fool, distracted, scared.
Yeah, I think he is going to be distracted by this. Yeah, because I think he was spending too long kind of monologuing. He didn't notice that this stuff was going on.
Yeah, definitely. That fits.
He's lost his mojo a little bit.
And Django, did you get a basic? Is that your?
I got a basic, so I'm going to re-roll
those 3. Yeah,
risk that. Yeah.
It's 2 basic then, I guess.
Yeah,
so that'll be 4 grit you'll take.
4 grit, and that takes me as well into my bad. So I'm going to. I've fallen behind all the luxurious upholstery that's been blown up by these blaster fire, and I'm going to stagger my way to the drinks trolley and be distracted for a moment.
Just steady your nerves a little bit.
Don't forget the tequila. We'll need it for the way back.
You've still got the soda siphon ready to just mix it. I'll just quickly. Amazing. So now it's back to an action turn. You've got 3 sort of chunks left to get to take the boss out. Again, it's defense critical, so you need critical to do it. I might go back to T3PO at this stage. We'll just mix up the order a little bit. What are you going to do?
Yeah, so I look a bit like I can't recall. Is it K2 or something like that? Anyway, in one of the newer movies, there's the bot that's got all the holes in the smoking and stuff. That's how I look a little bit now. Probably my compass is all skew with and stuff like that. The head's not quite on. Yeah, I'm looking worst for wear. The good news is, though, that they knocked out my inhibitor that stops me shooting people. So then now, suddenly, all the targets go red on my heads-up display. And I just start blasting at people.
Amazing.
Which is 2 regulars at the minute, which is not good enough. So I need 4 of something, don't I, basically?
No, you need 3. He's only got defensive critical. You just need a 3.
Okay, I'll reroll the 1 die and try and get a 5 or a 6. I think that's probably the easiest. And I do not. So
I think you're taking out lots of the mercs and stuff, but the Mandalorian's just too fast for you.
Yeah,
he's moving around and obviously not a good target for you. Let's go to Django now.
Okay, so what effect does this a distracted condition have on me?
You're at -1 dice on focus checks.
Right, okay.
Well,
On focus. Okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm just going to be a straight blaster fire at the Mandalorian, I think.
Go for it. Go for it.
Let's see how that does. So it will be a shoot and nerves. So I've got 6 dice in that. Here goes. Take that. Green fire comes out there.
1 basic.
We are struggling.
Yeah.
Okay, so I'm going to re-roll the others then. So that's I can do that.
Yeah, sure. Those 4.
What?
Oh, you get 2 more.
Yeah,
2
you
more.
get 2 more.
Oh, yeah.
Looking for 5s. There it is.
Oh, that's critical.
Yeah, critical. Yeah. So this blaster fire is effective. It knocks off one of the chunks of the Mandalorian. This isn't one that triggers a reaction to him as well. You'd be pleased to know. He's just got 2 left. Let's go to Hardrat now. What are you going to do?
Hardrat is going to. He's kind of slightly annoyed that he's been shot, and he's going to kind of duck behind a desk or in the room, and he's going to do it so fast. It's this kind of swirl of his robe that it's kind of like he's kind of almost gone missing. And as he does, there's just this disembodied voice that's continuing to taunt Cast, and hopefully keep him kind of out. Well, hang on a second, where's he gone? And so that he's focused on looking out for where this old Bothan spy has gone, rather than dealing with the real threats of his companions. And this is going to be I think maybe it's a nerves and stealth.
Sounds good to me. Yeah, sneak around.
And that's a critical.
That is a critical. Amazing. Knock another 1 down from him. Let me just check his reactions. Yeah, he's going to. Yeah, I think he finds you, and there's a blast of fire goes towards you. You have distracted him. He's turned his back to everyone else, but he sort of grabs you. You're going to take 1 grit again, which is the amount that you've just inflicted to him. He's got 1 left. Yep. Lunal, can you take him down?
He's got 1 left?
1 left, yeah.
All right. It's time. I'm going to spend my spotlight. Actually, I can do that after I roll. I can decide to do this. So let's see if I can do it with a roll first. Because I just need a critical to take him out, right?
Yeah.
So we have a moment where Lunal's he looks at who he's supposed to be, look at Talon and his men. He's supposed to be protecting them. He looks over to the far corner where my lightsaber is. He looks up and sees Cast flying through the air, and he's got Hadrat. And I have been so envious of Hadrat and his experience and how good he is at all of this. And instinctually, I don't even think about it. I jump and land on top of Cast's back on his backpack, and I'm covering his eyes in hopes that he's going to slam himself into the wall.
I mean, the vision looks really poor on those Mandalorian helmets anyway, doesn't
exactly.
it? I think that would be a problem for them.
I can do it with just 2 fingers. I don't have to use my whole hands. So if it's all right, I'd like to do a bronze stunt.
Go for it. Let's see how this goes.
I will spend an adrenaline to get an additional die. It's going to give me 7 dice. And that is what we needed. We got a crit plus an additional basic. But because of his ability, that won't do additional damage.
So, Craig, do you want to describe how do you take the take the camera, how does the Mandalorian cast actually be finally defeated?
I think it's classic Saturday morning cartoon, right? So I jump on his back, I cover his eyes. Instinctively, he drops Hadrit. Hadrit drops down to see the kid on top of him, and like I'm on his shoulders, right? Because I'm tiny and I'm sitting. So he's giving me a piggyback ride. I've got to sing, and we see him fly into a spiral, and just at the last minute, I backflip off of him as he slams into the side of the wall, and just we hear it, and he falls in true Star Wars fashion.
Amazing. And we get a cut to the outside of the Tusken Fort where the remaining mercenaries are like just running for it, out of it, trying to start the land speeders and getting no luck at all. And like seeing what to do. They sort of rush round, and then we just see the shadows of those two TIE fighters sweep in and pick them up. You have Talon looks around as at this moment of peace, says, wait a minute, who are you guys? He's like got his hand on his blaster. What was that about?
Django pull out a medallion of the Alliance Starbird symbol and declare ourselves allied to the Alliance. Talon, you need to return to the front and give us inspiration to defeat the Imperial rising. Your time has come again, Talon. It's time to leave Tatooine and lead us.
He says, how can I say no to that? Come, rebels. Let's show these Imperials what for.
I'll start playing the Rebel Anthem out of my ears.
Amazing. And you have successfully rescued Adar Talon in the Tatooine Manhunt. Thank you to everyone who played today. Nice little vignette of a mixed bag of Star Wars characters in there. I hope, viewers, you liked it at home. Thanks for watching and stuff. Always great to give us a like and subscribe, ring that bell. It all helps with the algorithm. And as well, tell people about the show. That also does a lot of good. Tell them about this. Tell them about Third Floor Wars. Check out Grognard Files. Check out Smart Party. Check out Burn After Running. Check out all of the many, many things we're doing. And Craig, you've got some Outgunned of your own on available on YouTube, haven't you?
Yeah, if you go to the Third Floor Wars YouTube channel, there's an entire playlist with Outgunned. We did the opening like starter adventure, not only from the quick start, but in the main book it extends and has several acts. Perfect action movie. You get to see really why I think this game shines, and we got to see it here too, which is big heroes doing big things and not just fighting, but like I loved what Jag did and recognizing, there's several ways to solve problems. Yeah. But yeah, if you can go to Third Floor Wars on YouTube. Thank you.
Amazing. And thank you for viewing. We'll be back soon in a couple of weeks with another fantastic game. In the meantime, thanks for watching, and we'll catch you later.